Hi, welcome back to our podcast, Life Under the Moon. I am your host, Sammy B.
And today we are celebrating the August full moon, the sturgeon moon in Aquarius, which the theme of this full moon is about groups of people, how we show up for the world, and how we make a difference in the external world of our life. So let's get into today's topic.
Today, I wanted to take you outside with me in the glow of the sunset, in the green nature, and talk about a very prone topic to my life, which is work-life balance. And I know we've talked about this before, but this specifically needs to be addressed. And I realized something tonight when I was having a little chit-chat with myself, with my furry companions. So a little bit of a backstory. I work from home. I run my own business. And if any of you work from home, you'll probably know that you are essentially in your office 24/7, 7 days a week, even if you're not working, because you share your office with your home and you share your home with your office. Now, my home is 180 square feet. So my office takes up a very large portion of that. And it's just a part of my life. So for me personally, I have an even more difficult time than the average person of getting away from work because of that. But I wouldn't trade it for anything. But I need to find a better way to create more space for work in my life versus creating more space for my life with my work. I think that's how I worded it. So basically what that means is, for the last almost 7 years, what I've been doing is trying to create space for my life in my work life. That's really, I have it backwards. I need to be creating space for work. That's Boris and his pig, by the way. I need to be creating space for work in my life. Now, like I said, I have this completely backwards, and for probably 5 years of running my business, so definitely the majority of it to this date, I put my life on pause while I built my business. And I do feel like this is perhaps something that every entrepreneur has to do, is to put their whole entire life, heart and soul into a business if they want it to succeed and grow. So I don't regret what I did. But now that I am almost 7 years into this, I realized that along the way, I lost like the whole sense of purpose as to like why I'm doing what I'm doing. And like, even though I love what I do, I find that it can still make you unhappy. And I don't think enough people really talk about that. And it's just something that is completely normal that goes with life, is that when you feel like you're on call 24/7, technology is incredible, but it definitely doesn't help when clients think that they can text you any time of the week and any time of the day. I recently just experienced that yesterday. I finally had a moment of bliss where, like, the topic of this podcast is me trying to make more prominence of my life and then try to squeeze in work, because I really completely lost sight of. I still apologize for the Bori and his pig. Not a real pig. No pigs were harmed in the making of this podcast. Oh my goodness. But like, I really do. Like, it's to me, it's kind of difficult to say, like, I need to put me first before work, because even saying that, I just feel like such an obligation to be like, no, work comes first in every single case. But I need to do this for me, because I not only need a break or a vacation, like, I need a hard reset. And that's kind of impossible to do when you don't have someone to take over. So I either genuinely step back away from my work and just say, like, I'm off for the summer, which, would be very hard to do financially. Or I just, like I'm doing now, is it's going to take time. It's going to take more than a couple months. It's going to take a lot longer to try to undo years of training. And that's basically where I'm at right now. So yesterday I was finally in a moment of bliss where I was not thinking about work. And let me tell you, that is hard for me. I am always thinking about work. I know, like, all of my boyfriends in the past, they can easily step through the front door, close the door, and work is not even of the subject. Work doesn't even exist, and they can just completely put that aside. And I've never been able to do that. I'm like, how can you just shut your brain off? Like, how do you just shut that part of your life off? Like, I'm not saying it's not okay to talk about work. Like, of course you can. But I'm just saying they have the capability of being able to just come home and shut off that part of their life and say, all right, you're front and center. Or like, our life front and center. Like, this is front and center. Like, I just physically could not comprehend how they do that. So that's something I've been working on. And it is so fucking hard. But like I said, it's going to be a work in progress for quite some time, but you can do anything you set your mind to. So yesterday, I was actually in one of those moments where I wasn't even thinking about work. I wasn't even thinking about not thinking about work. I was just genuinely so present, and all of a sudden my phone goes off. Now, let me tell you, it was 8:00 at night, and it was a client. And I started thinking about work. Of course, I didn't open the text. I didn't read the text. But the fact that it dung on my phone, even if I would have silenced my phone, the notification would still be there. Because I have friends that I like to check up on and check. And so it's not fair to me that I have to put my phone on airplane mode as soon as 5:00 hits. That's not fair. And I don't want to get a second phone, because I think we can manage it. Like, if I have to, I will, but I think we can manage it. And I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I kid you not, I woke up to, I think, 16 missed texts from the same client. It was not okay. Like, he was texting me well into midnight. Not even, like, some of it was work stuff. Some of it was, like, just, he thought I was his daughter. Some of it was, like, here's a YouTube video I think you'll like. Like, it was completely inappropriate. But also, like, it was such an invasion of my privacy and, like, my life. And, like, I don't think people realize that, like, you are taking away my focus. You are taking away my time with my family, with myself. Because even if I don't open that text, I still see it and it's still on my mind. And it's so not fair. It is so not fair. And you would not believe the amount of clients that I've had in my lifetime that have texted me after hours or called me on weekends. And it's just, at first I just went with it and, I was kind of bothered by it. But now that I'm really trying to fix this part of my life that I know is, I don't want to say broken, but absolutely needs adjustment, I realized that this is not okay behavior. And like, I just wish like the general public knew or could even hear this podcast, because not everybody does it, but a lot of people do. So I guess like if you're one of those people who like think it's okay to just send a quick text to someone, look, I understand, I've been there, but just be mindful, like, is it really important, or can it wait till Monday morning? Like, can it wait till tomorrow? Because some of us are like really struggling and going through things, and we need to draw that line. And when you're someone like me who works from home and who lives at home and has a phone for personal and has the same phone for business, there's not really a line. And I really want to bring awareness to this situation, that it needs to be addressed, and that I think that we can do better as a society to help people create a better life for themselves, and to just be more respectful and just think more along the lines of like putting ourselves in each other's shoes and just living mindfully and presently. And I think we're all just too like go fast, and because of that we're not thinking clearly. We just think, oh, I need my house built right now. But like, if you slow down, you realize like it's gonna take time. It's gonna be built when it's built, right? Like, I mean, we could get so deep into this, but that's something that I've been dealing with. And if any of you who are listening are dealing with that too, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Even just give this a thumbs up. And I know that sometimes when I hear someone's going through the same thing I am, it makes me feel a lot more comfortable. It's just human nature, I think. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Gemini to help me write a really polite and professional text to clients who do decide to do that to me. Text me in the middle of the night on a weekday or a weekend and just, politely say, hi, I received your text. I would just like to politely remind you that this is also my personal cell phone, and I like to keep it that way during personal hours, as I could assume you would understand. And if we could just keep texting to emergencies only, and strictly email for all further communication. Hey, and that was just me coming up with that on the spot. So I mean, obviously it needs some tweaking, and I'll get AI to help me write it, because AI is fucking amazing. I don't care what you say. It has helped me write a lot of scary emails. Okay. Everyone can have their own opinion. I'm just saying it has definitely helped me in some cases. Yeah, and I think like that's just like one of the steps I need to do. And I think it's like super important to take a measure of your life and analyze like what isn't going well and what is going well, and then try to make changes, even if it's slow changes, right? So that is my spiel for today's episode. I know it might have seemed like a lot, but I really wanted to do this podcast about this because I know that I would like to hear someone talk about this. Because, like, there's so many things to be aware of in life. So, I am definitely that kind of podcast where we talk about the things that a lot of people miss. And actually, that's something that I want to quickly bring up too, is I love photography because I take photos of the things that the majority of the world misses. So, for example, the other day I was on a walk with Boris, this little side story just to end the podcast, and it was raining. We decided to go anyways. It actually made everything so much more vivid and beautiful. The rocks I found were like, wow. I came back with a backpack full of rocks. Anyways, I was just so present on that walk, looking at all the flowers, receiving rain, and they were so colorful. And I was taking photos of all of these and putting them on my Instagram stories for everybody to be able to see like what I was seeing. And I kind of realized that like some of the flowers that I took pictures of, I actually had to like genuinely walk well into the ditch because something red just caught my eye. And so I took a photo of it. And I can guarantee you the majority of society would walk right past that amazing flower because they're too busy not being present. And because I am able to slow down and be present and take a photo, even if you are too busy to slow down and be present, I will do that for you. And I will show you a part of the world that you might miss and that you might not see. And that made photography even more special to me because I realized that I am going to see parts of the world that other people don't. And I think that that is so beautiful. And that's kind of why we have this podcast, is to just slow down and do things that will just better our life. And as you guys know, it's basically the small little things, like simply slowing down. And that's why I love talking about how to create a better wellness around our lifestyle, because life is very magical. And every time I slow down, the most magical things happen. Every time. But you genuinely have to slow down so slow that everything is paused and you are only you in that moment. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll get there. And it's something that you have to work at. And it is the most magical feeling I've ever experienced. This is the part of our podcast where we take a listener's wish and we manifest for their wish to come true. And when we manifest people's wishes to come true, we collectively make the world a better place. So don't be shy. Leave a wish in the comments. I would love to. You can stay anonymous, but I'd love to give you a shout out, or I would just love to genuinely point and harness the energy of the moon your direction, and for the world population of whoever's listening to this to manifest a better life for you as well. So I will manifest and wish for all of you to have a healthier work-life balance, no matter what that looks like for you. Even if you don't technically have a job and you are just at home, it is work keeping that house happy. It is so much work. So I wish all of you to have the best next 2 weeks of this amazing moon, and let's go manifest our dreams with our life under the moon.